If you're dying to make a super simple quilt that everybody will love and has flannel on the back so you'll snuggle in it for hours, right? This Buffalo Plaid is the one for you. Let's get started. Shea Henderson is one of my favorite quilt designers out there. She made a great Star Wars patchwork that caught my eye years ago, and she actually created this Buffalo Plaid pattern for you. She's got a free printable that you can print out and follow along over at emptybobbinSewing.com. And not only that, look at this. She's got all of these great instructions and a complete yardage calculation for everything you need for any size making your own Buffalo Plaid. So just go on over to her website, print out the free instructions, and follow this video as I walk you through it today. Okay, what I'm using is some wonderful Robert Kaufman Solids, and you're gonna need for your quilt top 3 different colors: a light, a medium, and a dark. Now, you're going to use twice as much medium. So for example, if you're buying a yard of the light and a yard of the dark, you'll have 2 yards of your medium, because the medium is the companion print that checkerboards throughout the whole thing, right? And then of course, you'll need to get the fantastic Shetland Flannel, which is also from Robert Kaufman. And I've done some fun scarves with this flannel and a couple of other projects, and this stuff sews like butter and feels even better than that. So I love this stuff, and it makes a great backing for any snuggly quilt, right? Let me get this stuff out of the way for today. We're going to need our whole ironing board because we're going to make these in strips. We're sewing these together in strip sets to help manage the efficiency and our cutting for accuracy, actually. So I want you to take all of your yardage, however much you're using, and I'm going to have you make 5-inch strips. And remember, you're going to need 2 mediums, 1 dark, and 1 light for every, let's just call it, band within the quilt. And you're going to go ahead and start by sewing your lights and mediums together, and we're going to do 4 strips all sewing. I'm going to show you that here in a second, and then you'll also sew your mediums and your darks together. So, as I said, let's get to stitching. And I'm going to take my dark and my medium, and I'm just going to kind of match up over on the selvages end there, and I'm just going to start sewing. We'll be trimming off the selvages to make that clean first cut as we begin subcutting our strip sets down. Boy, that sounds like a lot of information. I hope that didn't sound confusing. I'm doing a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and my presser foot has gone on vacation, so I'm just going to slide it over here real quick. And I've got cotton thread in and my little edge guide, because I really want to go at a pace that I can get the quilt done in an afternoon, but also at a pace where I have got nice, accurate seam allowances, because even though we're building strip sets, this is what's going to help keep everything square. I backstitched there, but there's no real reason to. I'm going to cut the selvage off, but might as well get in that habit, right? Okay, so now I have joined 1 of my mediums and 1 of my dark strips together. Okay, and then I'm also going to go ahead, and you can see I've done that twice. So now I want to make sure I just join medium dark, medium dark. So I'm going to lay those right sides together, make 1 more nice long seam. As accurate as possible. And speaking of accuracy, one of the things I'm doing when I'm kind of sewing through here is I'm never pushing or pulling. I'm just kind of looking about 6 to 8 inches down. And what I try to do, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I try to line up both edges so I can barely see the dark fabric popping from under the medium fabric right now. And I'm just pinching and lining it up and letting the machine do all the work. Okay, we're going to go to our ironing board and we're going to press this whole seam set open. And I was trying to think, now what's going to happen color-wise is our medium color is going to alternate throughout the quilt. So I was thinking to myself, well, if I press to the medium each time, would that help my seam allowances so that when I'm marrying my strip set rows back together, will that help the seams? And it can if you pay enough attention to it, but funny enough, when I start to rebuild this, watch what happens. So just go ahead and press all in one direction as you go. I don't think we can outsmart our seam allowances in this one. And I don't think we need to be concerned about it either. So I'm just going to take a second and press this, but your pressing is also important because these seam allowances are going to help us get really nice accurate cuts. I'm going to show you that here under the big camera that's from the top in a second so you can really see what I'm looking at with my ruler, but I got to get this pressed out a second. So let me monkey around with this and I'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. I've got all my seams pressed nice and crisp, all heading in one direction. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start by trimming off our best edge first. This whole strip set should yield about 8 of these subcuts. And so what I'm going to first do is, even on my first cut, I want to make sure things are super, super accurate. So I'm looking at the lines here on my ruler with the lines that are the seam allowance lines, because that's what's going to allow me to cut it and give the appearance of square and straight in the actual project. So my first cut is my truing cut. So I'm going to cut it like this, okay? And then, because I am so very right-handed, I'm going to spin my whole project, get my cutter back out here, and I'm going to build these in sections of 3. So I'm just going to cut 3 for us now, but the best thing to do is make sure you just cut everything all at once. Go into a good old Henry Ford assembly line style, do all your sewing, all your cutting, and then all your re-sewing that we're going to do here in a second. So I'm going to focus on what I'm doing because I'm making 5-inch cuts now because I had 5-inch strips, right? So I'm going to make 1. And if your ruler were to shift, you'd want to re-square because I want these lines and this line perfectly square if I can do that. I'm looking at all that. It's coming out perfect. And then 1 more at 5 inches. But like I said, please go ahead and cut down everything you've stitched together. But I want to show you the next step. So from here, we need 3. And I'm just going to now go ahead and join these in another kind of checkerboardy fashion, my medium and my dark here. And I'll just bring this one close. Now for these you can backstitch because it'll help secure it. We don't want things shifting around, coming loose as we're sewing them together. Another trick a lot of quilters will do is they'll actually make just a smaller seam allowance altogether. So if I'm sewing like at a 2.5, folks will go to a 2.0. But if you ever have to tear it out or black thread on black fabric, my goodness, hard to see. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm getting this right. So my medium to my dark, right sides together. We're going to go ahead and drop this in. And that's all I needed was to combine 3 of those for the quilt that is the size behind me. So I did this with my medium dark family, and I also did it with my medium light family. And you can see I did lots and lots of strips. So as we bring this back together, you're just going to go ahead and position everything. And of course I would have ironed that out. We're just going to position everything so that my medium starts to checkerboard as I go through. So if I lay this one out and I see those colors touching, oh, all I have to do is take this and spin it 180 degrees, and now it comes back together perfectly like that. Okay, so it's a very, very fun quilt and a very, very easy to construct quilt. It'll actually help you with your straight line sewing and your accuracy in your cutting if that's something you're personally practicing right now. For me, like I said, I put the flannel on the backing because I want this to be a couch quilt. I want this to be a quilt that is used a lot, and I love the flannel for snuggliness. But because of that, I also wanted a very large all-over symmetrical quilting pattern. So check this out. I actually sent this in to the Missouri Star Quilt Company and had their long arming team machine quilt this really fun square in a square design because it fit the motif of the quilt and it made it nice and strong and well constructed so this can go in and out of the wash over and over again. And I liked the symmetry in this project in comparison to the free motion that I normally do. So every quilt tells a story and every quilt has a different approach to it, right? This is a very fun project that gives you a huge world of opportunities design-wise. So what I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you is what you did with your very first Buffalo Plaid quilt. We'll catch you next time right here at Man Sewing. Thanks for being a Man Sewing fan. It's great to have you out there encouraging me to create fantastic new content. If you've missed any of the videos, we've got links for you here and here. And while you're checking those out, make sure you're subscribed. We don't want you to miss any of the action.